It's one of the great movies of the 2020s, this new decade. It's The Father, starring Anthony Hopkins. Why do I think this movie's great? Let me tell you in the comments and enliven and enrich your understanding of this film coming up next. The Father is based on a play written by Florian Zeller. Here he's a first-time director. It's a remarkable debut from him. Kudos to him. He wrote this, he directed it. Anthony Hopkins and a bevy of great English stars, British stars, are in this. Mark Gatiss and Russell Sewell as male characters. And then we have Olivia Colman, Imogen Potts, and Olivia Williams. Oh, such a great cast. Especially Olivia Colman as the daughter, and really, really great. Anthony Hopkins, of course, is in this movie, and I think simulates very well what it's like to have Alzheimer's or dementia. In fact, that's the topic of the movie. An old man in England or Great Britain, has dementia or Alzheimer's. He's losing his memory. He doesn't understand who people are. He can't remember from day to day where he is, who other people are. But the trick of the movie and the way this is shot, a lot of stylistic techniques here, are confusing to you and me, viewers. We are supposed to be confused so that we feel like what it's like to have Alzheimer's and dementia. Essentially, we identify and feel like and have the confusion of the main character, Anthony, played by Anthony Hopkins. And I think the way this movie does this makes this one of the great What's It Like to Be movies. By that I mean, what's it like to be a person with Alzheimer's? Well, we don't know what that's like. Nobody who's lucid and who can talk and make videos like this could know that. We can see it and witness it as a third person. This movie tries to get us into the first person perspective, showing what it would feel like to wake up and see somebody but not know who they are or where you are. A couple ways the movie does this. I think it's shot in the same location, but they remodeled it 3 or 4 different times. So you see 2 different apartments and a nursing home, plus a doctor's office, all looking exactly the same. And the main character, Anthony, asks, where am I? Am I in my own flat? Or am I in my daughter's flat? He is confused, but we are confused because it's the same set, but different decorations, and the things in the set change. So we're not ever sure where we are, and we're not sure of the chronology of this movie. What happens first isn't necessarily the first thing in time to happen first, and so on as we go. So we have to be working to piece this movie together, and maybe we can understand things better than Anthony does, but sometimes we feel like we don't know where we are. But obviously one of the key techniques is very noticeable by viewers to simulate memory lapse is to have 2 different actors play one part. It's exactly what happens in this movie as we see the daughter of Anthony, named Anne, played by 2 different women here. For a while, at least in this movie, maybe even by the end it's ambiguous. We're not sure who the real daughter is. The same thing with her husband. In other words, Anthony's son-in-law was played by 2 different men. And the list just goes on as all these characters are multiple people. So Anthony wakes up and he sees a new person and he's not sure who they are. Well, we feel the same way as viewers, trying to figure out who each of the characters are and which one's the real one and which one's not. Now we'll have to get into some spoilers and some interpretations that may limit the movie, and I don't want to do that at all. But if you look at the cast list of this movie, that may clarify who each character is. For example, it says clearly that Olivia Colman plays Anne, the daughter of Anthony. Now, I actually don't like that because I want to believe that anybody could be his daughter, that he actually doesn't know who she is, he doesn't recognize her, and we can't even tell. Clearly, Olivia Williams and Olivia Colman, funny that they have the same first name, playing the same character, may mean that either of them could be the daughter. However, the cast list tells us, hey, it's just one of them. And it's the same thing with Laura, played by Imogen Potts, who we may confuse, and Anthony does, for his second or his younger daughter. Now, she's died in an accident at some point in time. We actually see her later in the movie. We see her in a picture frame. But he thinks that Lucy is Laura and Laura is Lucy, and that's confusing because of the names are pretty close together. But I think the cast list makes things too certain, whereas I want to, as a viewer and as an interpreter, see things as more open-ended and ambiguous. Now, nevertheless, there are 2 characters who are mysteries to us in the cast list. One's the man, played by Mark Gatiss, and one is the woman, played by Olivia Williams. And they play, I think, either 2 or 3 or 4 different characters. Certainly Olivia Williams is 4 different characters in this movie. And the question is, who is she? Well, the cast list only says she's the woman. Now, is the woman a catch-all term? I actually have a number of interpretations about her. I think she may be Antony's mother. And I think the man may be Antony's father. There are little clues that hint at this. I think it's easier to see her as the mother. Potentially, in Antony's mind, who's dead, she's not alive, but he's slipping and he's seeing his mother's face in several different spots, played by Olivia Williams. The ending of the movie hints at this, where she cradles him, tells him everything will be okay, and there's a moment where he says, I see my mother's face, and on camera you see Olivia Williams, so that leads me to possibly think that this character is actually the mother of Antony.
My mother, she...
No.
She has such big eyes. I can see her face now.
I think this is an awareness movie, which is trying to get us to be aware of what it's like to have Alzheimer's and to care for those kinds of people, but also to show that it's very difficult from Anne, the daughter's point of view, to communicate with them. In fact, even do this on a daily basis. There's a great number of people. It's obviously a contemporary topic or problem. I'm assuming in the past history of the world there have been a few people with Alzheimer's, but today there's presumably millions of people with Alzheimer's and dementia. So it's sort of society-wide problem. A number of people know what it's like to have a parent or loved one who has Alzheimer's, and here we get to see and feel what it's like to communicate with them. In the movie, I think, simulates that extremely well, and it's extremely painful.
The other day she told me she was going to go and live in Paris. She told me the other day.
Paris?
Yes.
What was she going to do in Paris?
Well, she met a Frenchman.
I don't think so, Anthony.
Yes, she did. She told me the other day. I'm not an idiot.
Is this movie reassuring, and does it have a happy ending? This is a really interesting question, I think, and here we're going to go into some spoilers and look at the ending, where the final shot of the movie is a long 2 or 3 minute shot showing the Olivia Williams character holding the Anthony Hopkins character as he cries and says he's a child, he wants his mommy, and we feel very sorry for him because he's trapped, he's alone, he wakes up every day and feels alone. She's trying to reassure him, and so she says that they're going to go take a walk in the park outside, it's a nice sunny day, and that everything will be all right in a minute. That's the last words in the movie.
You're going to feel all right in a minute, I promise you.
After she says that, the camera slowly pans to the left and you see objects in the room. Then you go to the window. It's opaque, but then it dissolves into the outside world and the lighting changes from a glimpse inside out to outside the window to then being outside. Now, this is a movie where you're very rarely outside. Mostly you're inside a labyrinth or maze of apartments, flats, nursing homes, and that sort of thing. But here you're on the outside looking at trees. Well, the character about 5 minutes earlier in the movie has said he's losing all his leaves.
I feel as if I'm losing all my leaves.
Your leaves?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Maybe that's a metaphor for losing his mind or not being sure of who he is, but he wants the leaves to be intact. He wants a nice sunny day. He's getting the natural world versus the artificial world of the nursing home. And this seems to be assuring. It's the last shot of the movie because it's sunny and green and nice and pleasant, the kind of shot we haven't seen much, if at all, earlier in this movie. But, and here's the catch, I leave this movie thinking, oh my goodness, what if I get Alzheimer's? What am I going to do? Wouldn't this be awful, horrible to be in this situation that Anthony's in? And so I feel exactly the opposite of what they're showing me. Now, why is this? Interesting, I think that the Olivia Williams character is trying to hypnotize us, the audience, via hypnotizing Anthony. She's reassuring him, she's giving him cues, and then she says, everything will be all right in a minute. Well, is everything all right in a minute? I guess on the surface or by illusions, it could be. And the illusion of the camera is that it goes through the window from the inside to the outside. This is a movie trick, a movie illusion that's deeply embedded in movie history. See Citizen Kane, for example. But if you're aware, you know it's a trick. And then you think, this is unsettling. Are they trying to trick me? So I am worried that this movie is actually dehypnotizing me, not making me feel comfortable, but making me feel very devastated, which may be the attempted effect of it, to think really hard about what it would be like to have Alzheimer's and maybe drum up empathy or sympathy for those who have it. Another thought here, and this is from my students as well in class, is that he may be transitioning to the afterlife here. She has a little bit of an angelic glow. Her character changes somewhat from a nurse to more of a motherly caretaker, her cadence, the way she talks, and she looks and sounds more angelic or more saintly when holding him. And then he goes to the light outside. I don't know that he's literally dying, but you can see him as transitioning from one awful state into a better state, which is what we would hope for him if he did die. So there are little tiny hints of like signaling spiritual meanings or afterlife stuff here without any overt religion or dogma coming up. All in all, I think this is a strong What It's Like to Be Somebody movie. I think this is very well made, and I look forward to what this director has to offer in the future. Let's see what he makes, and if he can keep doing things like this, I would be very interested to see his next movie. What do you think of The Father? Let us know in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel for more great content. Have a great day.